Okay, so I also do want to look at something that actually I don't think I've not some of you have been my students, and I don't think any of my students have ever seen this kind of chart before. But I'm going to pull up what is called the Aries Ingress chart. An Aries Ingress chart is a chart you can use to look at a country. Okay, if you want to know, like, it's like a solar return chart kind of for like a country. If you want to know, like, what's this country going to be going through for the next year? So what you do is you set the chart for the exact moment that the sun ingresses into Aries, because we set that because that is the start of the astrological calendar. So when the sun moves into Aries, you cast the chart for the capital of whatever that nation is. Okay, so for the United States, we set the Aries ingress chart for the location of Washington, D.C. And we look to see where does everything fall in that chart. What can that tell us about the year ahead? Because I know a lot of us have anxiety. It's a very intense time, and especially with what has happened with the tariff wars in the last 2 days, basically our economy is crashing. It's all very intense, dramatic. So let's look at the United States ingress chart to kind of see what this can tell us. Where is it? Here we go. So, whoops, sorry, this is the wrong one. I have to pull up the new one. Aries Ingress for 2025. Okay. So, this is essentially, Kay, the birth chart for the United States for the year ahead. You can see a lot happening in the second house. And in an Aries ingress chart for a country, yeah, the second house represents the economy, the country's economy. Okay, so we've got Neptune there, the sun, Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, and Chiron. Okay, so just like for me, just look at this, I'm like, the economy is going to be crazy this year. There is confusion, there is disruption, there is decline with the Venus retrograde, because we know retrograde, right? It's like backwards. It's like, and Venus rules, right? Money, wealth. And then to have the Mercury also retrograde is, again, there's more confusion, there's lack of clarity. And then Chiron here, it's like bringing up like wounds for people. There's also with the Aries, there's a lot of anger. This kind of does tell the story too of like war, like these trade wars that are maybe going to be an ongoing thing for the next year. But yeah, very, very heavy in the economic part of the country's chart. And then two, what is very blatant, we have Pluto on the ascendant. And Pluto on the ascendant of a country's chart, because a country, just like a person, that ascendant is like, what is the persona, right? Like of the leadership of the country for this year. We've got Pluto right there. Pluto is authoritarian. Pluto is complete control, destruction, right? Because Pluto wants to control, but also wants to completely remake, right? Wants to pick apart and then put it together in the version that they see fit. And that's really what we're seeing with this government, with this administration, with Donald Trump. He is really asserting all of his power that he has and doing whatever he wants to destroy, deconstruct, to then rebuild our economy however he kind of thinks it should look, with the help of, his tech billionaire buddies. So yeah, this is just, again, just another tool that astrology, can be applied, that we can use astrology as a tool to look at a country's year ahead and get like pretty accurate, pretty accurate. What is interesting though, is that we do have the moon in Sagittarius in the 10th house, which represents, the moon is the people. Okay, the moon represents like the general public, the people. And the moon is actually pretty well placed, and in a very public house. And it's Sagittarius. So there's something about the people wanting truth, right? The people on the quest for the truth. And kind of all coming together, because Sagittarius too is like different cultures. It's like everyone coming together from different backgrounds, different economic backgrounds, different religious backgrounds, different ethnic backgrounds, and pretty publicly. So, I'm thinking that, yeah, I mean, there are protests today. I'm sure there will be other things organized that happen in a very public way where the people are making their stand, and it will be publicized in some big way. So that I see as a good thing. And we don't have any hard squares or oppositions being made to the moon either. So hopefully that's a good sign. But yeah, the story of the second house though is just like, yeah, I mean, I think this whole year ahead, the financial stability of this country is just going to be non-existent, kind of all over the place. Does anyone have questions about this chart or anything? Anything? Yes, Trina.
I actually do, with that Neptune at 29 degrees in Pisces. What does that look like for you with all of this? Being that it's at the, like, final degree.
Yeah, right. Good point. And it's right next to the sun too. It's like at the zero. But yeah, the 29th degree, very powerful degree, because it's that final degree before the planet is going to shift into a new sign. So it's like, think of any planet at 29 degrees, it's like super potent, supercharged. So yeah, with the Neptune at 29 in Pisces, super Pisces, is just a lot of confusion. And you kind of don't, Neptune in the second house too is difficult. That's even difficult like in a birth chart. Those are my clients that I have to say, it's really important. You've got to pay extra close attention to your finances, because you've got to just be wherever Neptune is where we need to practice more discretion, where we just have to force ourselves to like look a little harder, because at first it can look on the outside, oh no, everything's okay, my bank account's okay. And then you look closer and you're like, oh no, what was that charge? Wait, I don't remember paying for that, like that kind of stuff. So there's like, it's also uncertainty. Neptune is also uncertainty. It's the unknown. It's what's hidden. It's what we can't see. So there's something about also things going on behind the scenes with money in this country that we are not going to be privy to. Yeah. But yes, good question. But also, when we look at this chart, we also pay attention to throughout the year if aspects are made. Like when something gets to, like when Mars in Cancer gets to 29 degrees of Cancer, making an exact trine to this Neptune at I'd be curious. That would be a day, I might go look up and be like, well, I'm going to watch that day. That's when Mars at 29 is going to trigger that Neptune in the Aries Ingress chart. That's the other thing, because the 29 degree always a serious degree. That's like when this last summer, I literally predicted that when that full moon in Capricorn, full moon at 29 degrees Capricorn, I knew Joe Biden was going to step down, because that was just that 29th degree was just so powerful. And I was like, we're going to see something big having to do with a Capricornian figure. So anyways, but yes, good question about the 29th degree. Okay, everyone, I just wanted to, I know I don't usually bring up charts and kind of get into a thing, but I thought this was relevant, especially for literally the current events that we're in right now. And also now just going to where we are today. Oh, sorry, hold on. Current transits. Okay, so we know that we just had Neptune go into Aries, right? And the last time Neptune went into Aries, yes, within days was the start of the Civil War. 164 years ago was the last time Neptune was in Aries. This time we had Neptune go into Aries. Within days, trade war. But war is such a key word with Aries. So not surprising. I mean, it's not fun, obviously, but that Neptune in Aries was going to bring something. And again, too, the 0 degree, super powerful, just like the 29th degree. The first degree and the last degree of a sign, always, going to show us something, going to make a stand of some sort. Did anyone feel that shift of Neptune going into Aries and just kind of feel like something feels a little bit different in the air? I don't know. I did, yeah. And, it might depend on where Neptune is in your chart. If you're like, Neptune is on my sun. So I'm not technically, a Pisces, but Neptune is pretty strong in my chart. So maybe that's why I felt it. But anyways. So starting with where we are today. Now, actually, this is interesting because I didn't really notice it until I pulled up the actual chart. Neptune, Venus and Saturn, you can see that technically, yeah, they're conjunct right now. They're at the same degree. But then if we look at the minutes, they're not exact by minutes. They will eventually get exact throughout the month, but they are pretty much right next to each other the whole month of April, which I thought was interesting. They don't really separate apart from each other that much, and they have their exact conjunction later in the month, which we'll get to. But yeah, just interesting because this energy is something about, Saturn can either help Venus, to be more disciplined, to get a peace deal through. Let's focus on bringing some peace. Let's focus on bringing some love. Let's buckle down and get this figured out. Or Saturn can go the other way and act more as like a block or a barrier. Nope, it's not, the love can't get through. There's a block here. The peace deal can't get through. There's a block here. There's challenges in relationships. There's delays in relationships. There's setbacks in relationships. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how this unfolds throughout the month. Because too, I mean, the last time, and this is the Venus retrograde, when she was direct, she already linked up with Saturn. And that's when we had what we thought was a full peace deal with Israel and Gaza. That's when the hostages started to be released. There was a ceasefire, but then that has since then been violated and we're back to war, which is unfortunate. So, but I don't know if this Venus-Saturn story will bring that peace deal back. We'll kind of have to wait and see. As for, yeah, that's the main thing. And today we do have the moon and Mars pretty close together today. So yeah, people might be a little extra cranky today, a little extra sensitive, especially family members, or people that you live with. So just be aware of that. Feelings could get hurt more easily today. People could lash out a little more easily today because of that Mars. Then we have tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Venus and Mars. And actually, yeah, Saturn's kind of tied in there too. Making a nice trine. Okay, so Venus and Mars getting along very well tomorrow. This is really nice energy. This is like the balance of give and take. It's masculine and feminine. It's getting along with people. It's making amends with people. And just balance. There's just a lot of balanced energy tomorrow, which is nice. And you know, in water, in these water signs, it's a really good day to just like act from a place of compassion. You know, take action with your heart. What are you connecting to? What are you emotionally resonating with tomorrow? Okay, then on Monday, very exciting, Mercury is not retrograde anymore. Yay! That was a long, long 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde. But on Monday, Mercury stations direct again, which means he's going to start, you know, getting some speed back. Retrograde means he's been really slow. And yeah, not Mercury retrograde, right? Communications aren't going through. We've got technical problems. We've got travel delays, all the things. So now Mercury direct is good. However, it is going to be Mercury in Pisces still. Pisces isn't its favorite sign to be in because Pisces is more abstract and Mercury is more about exact facts and figures. So communication can still get a little confusing, still get a little misinterpreted with Mercury in Pisces. And also it's more too about symbolism. You know, it is a good time still with Mercury and Pisces to pay attention to what symbols are showing up for you. Not exact words, but like, where can I look a little bit deeper? I don't know if anyone's watching the show White Lotus, but it is a very Pisces show. There's so much symbolism. And, you know, it's like paying attention to even like what colors are the actors wearing? You know, what prints are on their clothes? What is the body language like, right? That's Mercury and Pisces, reading symbols, reading signs, like doing a little bit of like detective work. But then we will have Mercury go into Aries on April 15th, and we'll get there. So Mercury's not going to be in Pisces for too much longer. Then on the 12th, we're going to have our full moon in Libra, which will be at what time? In the evening. Let's get it exact. 5:22. 5:22 Pacific time will be our full moon in Libra. Okay, full moon at 23 degrees. So yes, if you have any planets around 22, 23, 24, 25 degrees, especially of cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, you are going to feel this moon more intensely. We know full moons are also right about completions. Something comes to a climax, right? Also, what gets fully illuminated? Well, with Libra, full moon in Libra, this energy is about shining a light on your relationships or where you might need more balance in life. Maybe where you have been neglecting yourself and your needs. But so really bringing those things like to the surface, all those Libra things. Also too, just like beauty. Have you been appreciating, right, the things that are beautiful in life? Or have you just been focused on like work, 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 and I'm in my, you know, my little routine, but oh, I haven't watched a sunset in a month, you know, like remember to do those things. That's what Libra reminds us to do. Now, what's interesting about this moon too, kind of this interesting synchronicity, the ruler of this moon is Venus, right? Because Venus rules Libra. And she is exalted in the sign of Pisces, okay, which means she likes being in Pisces. And she will be stationing direct shortly after the full moon. She won't go exactly with the full moon, but a little bit after the full moon. So that means we are going to feel kind of like this weight being lifted. Like with that full moon lighting up that Venus energy, Venus coming out of retrograde. It's like this is a day where I would think people will get clarity, especially around some kind of conflict, around maybe a relationship issue, around something that you've been trying to find the balance for. It is likely that some kind of clarity, some kind of resolution is going to come through. Especially just, yeah, with Venus finally stationing direct. And that's been a long journey too. That's been, by this time, it will have been 40 days of Venus retrograde. The other thing though with this moon that's interesting is you can see we've got Chiron. Chiron exactly conjunct the sun, okay? Chiron, and which means it's also exactly opposite the moon. So Chiron's mixed in here. Chiron is the wounded healer, okay? So yeah, people again might be extra sensitive today, a little more cranky, that Aries energy, more likely to lash out, more likely to take things personally, right? This can bring wounds to the surface, especially around identity, how we see ourselves. This can be a good thing though. You know, the thing about, yeah, Chiron pulling things up, pulling up wounds, is it also gives us an opportunity to address that wound. Like really look at it and be like, you know what? I don't want this to hurt me anymore. I want to make peace with this thing. I'm going to invite healing for this thing today. But yeah, the mood of the day could be, you know, people might be a little on edge. People might be a little more impulsive, a little more cranky. Just to keep that in mind. And again, too, if you've got planets around that 23 degrees in those cardinal signs, yeah, you might feel that Chiron maybe poking you as well, bringing up some things. But if he does bring up stuff, deal with it, fix it, heal it, let it go. Don't project it, right, onto people around you. Okay, now we have, well, when does Venus, hold on, where is Venus? Okay, here we go. See, it was literally like an hour later, Venus goes direct. Okay, so now we see Venus doesn't have her little retrograde symbol anymore. And just in general, right, Venus direct, this means we are going to have flow again with money, with relationships. I know that's been a thing. Like if money and resources have just felt like stagnant or slow for you the last couple weeks, yeah, it's because that Venus has been retrograde. So hopefully, and maybe this could affect the markets as well. Maybe things will get a little bit better when Venus goes direct, okay, in about a week. But yeah, so now we have flow again, flow in relationships. You know, if you have been kind of sitting on the fence in a relationship, if you've been like, I don't know if I want to be with this person still, you don't want to make that decision final until Venus is out of retrograde. Because while she's in retrograde, it makes us question all of our relationships in general. But you want to wait until she's direct again. Then how do you feel? Do you still feel like you don't want to be with this person? Okay, then address that. So that's the time to make the decisions. Also too, like with any contracts or even any business collaborations, partnerships, those are going to go much better, yeah, around April 12th. And then we are going to have Mercury on the 15th. Okay, Mercury is going to head back into Aries. And we already had Mercury in Aries earlier this spring, but then, right, then we had retrograde and it went back into Pisces. So now we get just a full take of Mercury in Aries, no interruptions. Okay, so April, I guess this is more April 16th through May 10th. Okay, so about, yeah, 3-4 weeks of Mercury in Aries, which is good for having direct conversations, cutting out hesitation, being very decisive, speaking up for yourself. It's also creative energy. It's like that fire's really sizzling and you've got all these great ideas. Great, follow them, start those ideas. The caution with Mercury in Aries is, yeah, it's a little more feisty, can be more defensive, more argumentative, more impulsive. So yeah, people are more likely to escalate things into arguments. So if you feel like something's escalating, do your best to just, you know what, I'm gonna step out, or let's take this down a few notches so it doesn't go into crazy territory. Okay, then we have, well, actually, this is all kind of happening the same day. Also, you can see on the 16th, we also have Mercury conjunct Neptune. And this is significant because Mercury will be the first planet to make contact with Neptune since it has moved into Aries, okay? Mercury is the first guest coming to visit Neptune in Aries, knocking on the door. Hey, how's it going? How do you like your new Aries house? So, that to me says, and it's at 0. Again, that potent, like 0 degree. So on a bigger scale, yeah, I would think news stories around this time. News stories, but maybe that are, yeah, kind of Neptunian, maybe about confusion, or maybe a miscommunication gets leaked, or there could even be, again, like big public misunderstandings, right? Like, or the continuation of our Signal Gate story, where the reporter was added into the classified war chat. Something about that still could come out around this time. Could also just be too like some kind of technical glitch. With Neptune still rules water. So I'm like, is this like does someone on a grand scale like drop the blow dryer in the bathtub and we have some electric issue? I don't know. Some kind of electric malfunction that we hear about. Possibly. But also, yeah, the Neptune can kind of cloud, right? Cloud up what Mercury's trying to do. So this day, yeah, there could be misunderstandings. There could be, lack of clarity and communication. So just be sure that like you're being clear with people, that if people say something to you, you're like, can you please clarify that? I just want to make sure I'm getting this clearly. If you've got to, sign documents on this day, make sure you're really reading the fine print. Okay, then we have, now things are going to start heating up, literally, because then we're going to have Mars finally leave Cancer, where, oh my God, Mars has been in Cancer for, I feel like 5 years. It's been 8 months, but feels like it's been forever. So Mars is finally going to move into Leo on April 17th, okay? But yeah, adding more fire, okay? We've already got all this Aries stuff going on. Then Mars and Leo, okay? Mars and Leo, this is, Mars wants to be king, right? So this is really good for us personally for any kind of leadership roles, places in our lives where maybe we need to stand up for ourselves, take the lead, be a little more assertive, be more confident, right? Be that king or queen, right, in our lives. But yeah, it's very take charge energy. It's very on the shadow side, yeah, can be dominant, can try to just want to be in charge of everything and not really compromise, right? Also the stubborn, there is a stubborn quality with Leo. Oh, and Mars will be in Leo through June 18th. So like a solid 2 months, okay? Mars in Leo, though, also good for, again, creativity, okay? Any kind of creative passion projects. you know, things that just like light you up. Also, just things that are fun activities for you. Leo is the sign of play, of games, okay, of children. So it's like, how can I be adding more play into my life? And luckily, this is going into summer. So hopefully, we'll have nice weather. And yeah, we can go play outside, whatever that means for you, going for a walk, going for a picnic, meeting friends at the lake, you know, whatever it is. But yeah, it's very outgoing energy. It's really good for just like getting things in motion, starting projects that make you happy, that you want to do. Okay, then we're going to have the sun move into Taurus, okay, on the 19th. Whew, okay, so Taurus energy, a nice kind of little, you know, I'm calling it like a nice gentle hug from Taurus after we've been in kind of crazy Aries land, and we've still got some stuff in Aries, but this Taurus energy kind of turns down the thermostat, cools things off a little bit, calms things down, hopefully. I mean, that's what it should do. Um, you know, and yeah, Taurus season for from April 19th through May 19th. It's all about pleasure, our senses, slowing down, appreciating the beauty of life, and really looking at the things that we have and like showing gratitude for all of the things that, you know, our possessions, you know, the things, the clothes we have, the food in our refrigerator. It's like, think of all those things we take for granted, even just like things like a washing machine, like this tool that makes it so easy for me to clean my clothes. And I usually don't think about it. Like Taurus season, it's like, yes, I'm so lucky I have a washing machine. Like, what an amazing resource that is, you know? Also, too, just getting out in nature, right? Taurus is an earth sign, and it's all about appreciating natural beauty. Looking, like I said, go watch a sunset, go to a park, go plant some flowers in your garden, you know, connect with nature, go for a hike. Really nice to do during Taurus season. And just like delight the senses, right? Do the things, wear the perfume that you love, buy the flowers that you think are so pretty. Go, you know, make your favorite thing for dinner, you know, do all those sensory things. Go get a massage. Give a massage to someone else. I don't know. But just like do those nice things, the things that bring you pleasure in life. That's what Taurus season is all about. Also, too, if for my business people or people who are like, I want to focus on my money during Taurus season, that's good too. Taurus also, yes, rules money, finances, also our self-worth, you know, so focusing, yeah, on like, I appreciate myself, I love myself, I'm worthy of everything that I want. That's Taurus. And also, yeah, this is where I want to be saving more money. This is where maybe I want to be starting a side gig, or this is where I want to be investing more, you know, that's good for Taurus season too, like setting budgets, getting your financials in order. Okay, then the day after, is it literally? Yeah, literally the day after, we have our quarter moon, the fourth quarter moon, which is, this quarter moon's interesting because, well, it's going to be the sun in Taurus, moon in Aquarius, right? So quarter moons, there's always some tension because it's the sun and moon making that hard angle, right? So with this, it's like Aquarius and Taurus, right? Aquarius is like, I got to be making a difference in the world. I need to go be busy. I need to be, you know, volunteering somewhere. And Taurus is like, I just want to relax today. I just wanted to like eat my charcuterie board in the park. So that's kind of the conflict. It's like, and Aquarius can be a little more busy, a little more speedy, like quick. I want to get things done. But the sun in Taurus is like, no, let's slow down. Let's take it easy today. So that can be kind of the tension, a part of you wanting to like, I got to get these things done, but a part of me also wants to just relax. So, how can you make time for both of those things that day? But then we have Mars in the mix. Then we've got Mars in Leo, who he's going to be across from the moon, and then he's going to be squaring the sun. So this actually makes what we call a T square, where the sun is getting pressure on this day from Mars and the moon. So Mars in there, again, throws in kind of like an instigator. Like someone's going to show up and, start yelling at the birthday party, or someone's going to be throwing a fit about something, or someone's going to come in and try to like micromanage and control everything. So that energy is also kind of here on this day. And yeah, again, with Mars, shadow Mars, people just a little more irritated, a little more cranky, more prone to conflict. So if you're sensing conflict, like step away. Don't indulge that person that's trying to like get into it, because you could find those people on this day, on April 20th. And also, all three of these signs, these are all fixed signs. And fixed signs, yes, they're all stubborn. So you might feel more stubborn on this day. People you interact with might be more stubborn. So just try to remember to be a little more flexible on this day if you can. You're not going to want to be flexible, but it's going to be helpful if you are. Okay, the 23rd. The 23rd. Oh, yes. Okay, the 23rd, we're going to have the sun in Taurus. Let me just trying to go backwards here. Okay, sun in Taurus making a square to Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, so again, squares, tension. These two guys are not getting along today. Now, also, we are tracking whenever the sun and Pluto make an aspect this year, because it's kind of part of a story. Okay, the first part of this story was Inauguration Day, when the sun was conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, the sun was right next to Pluto in Aquarius, and we saw all the tech billionaires, right, at the inauguration. That's kind of what that story was. So now we've got the sun squaring Pluto. So still tension. So yeah, on the global stage, could we see some kind of tension forming with maybe these tech billionaires and people in the government? I don't know, some kind of conflict coming up? Maybe, yeah. But overall too, yeah, this day is, people are going to be like controlling. It's shadow Pluto. So like issues of control, jealousy, power, domination. So just kind of, harder energy this day. You might confront people that their egos are just like, super inflated. They just want to impose everything onto people. Personally, we might even feel more possessive this day. We might even feel like, I wish I had more control over this thing, and I just wish this and this. We might feel that way too. It can either be us or it can be people around us. And again too, it's still fixed. More fixed signs, stubborn. There's just like a stubborn quality on this day. Okay, then we have on the 24th, this is where, like I showed you guys, Venus and Saturn are they're next to each other pretty much the whole month. They finally get exact on the 24th, okay, at 27 degrees of Pisces. So this is a day, maybe this is the day where we see maybe some kind of developments with peace deals, with negotiations. And that can be globally or even in your individual lives. Maybe you've been trying to negotiate contracts or get things through. That could happen around this time, around the 24th. The day itself, can either be about taking your relationships more seriously and like really wanting to like take your relationship to the next level of commitment, right? Do the Saturn thing. I want to be more committed. I want to work hard on this relationship. Or it can be too about maybe you're feeling isolated. Maybe you're just feeling like you don't want to be very social on this day. Or maybe you're feeling like, no, this relationship has run its course. I'm ready to separate myself from it. So could be one of those two things. Okay, then we have the 26th. The 26th, oh, okay, right. Ding, ding, ding. The 26th is our third and final opposition between Mars and Pluto. Okay. This is very intense energy. It showed up very intensely the last couple times we had it. When it showed up in 2024, it was around late November, kind of around the time we had the Luigi Mangione shot the CEO, the healthcare CEO. Okay. When we had this again, we had it in early January. We had a terrorist attack in New Orleans. We had a person, I think they attempted to blow up their Tesla in Las Vegas, or they had a bomb in it. There was something, that story. So this is the third time. This is the last time for a while we're going to have this opposition. But yeah, it packs a punch because Mars, right? Planet of war, planet of attack, planet of battle, planet of aggression, and Pluto, right? Death, destruction, power, control. Those two planets, it's like ultimate power struggle. So this could show up, unfortunately, in the news as a literal explosion, a literal attack somewhere. Or, it could be something like, I could also see this too, maybe being protesters versus the government. That's a possibility. Something gets, crazy in the streets. I don't know, but could be that. Because there's also, there is a military, tone to Mars as well. And then Pluto just like, supercharging that. So that's a day, around April 26th, just, be aware of your surroundings. Just remember energy is intense that day, and just in our personal lives, just be a little more cautious on this day, like make sure you're looking both ways when you're driving, little things like that, but still important because it's just intense energy, explosive energy. Don't leave your curling iron on and leave the house, little things like that. Okay, then we are going to have our new moon in Taurus, okay, which is usually a very nice moon. It will be at 7 degrees. Okay, it's 7 degrees of Taurus. So yes, if you have planets around 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 degrees, okay, of fixed signs, okay, of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, then this moon is powerful energy for you especially. You can feel it more, you can tap into it more, but new moons, always new beginnings. New moons are, we get a fresh start. This is the seed I want to plant. Okay. And in Taurus, it's very much, really good for any kind of, financial intentions. you know, really getting specific on this day, like write down, like, this is how much money I want to be making. This is how much money I want to be saving. This is, you know, just get very specific about anything related to resources. You know, it doesn't even have to be money. It can just be like, this is, you know, these are the groceries I want to get this week, or I don't know, but anything related to resources with Taurus. And also that self-worth. If you just really want to be remembering how valuable you are, and, you know, set that intention. I deserve everything I want. I am worthy of what I want. I am valuable. You know, really be clear on those intentions on this day. It's a nice little just way to like stamp that into your brain so you remember it. But yeah, I mean, Taurus energy, right? It's Venusian, right? Venus rules Taurus. So this is also a day to just like do something Taurusy, do something for your senses, do something that brings you pleasure, do something leisurely, you know, do that nice picnic or go to your favorite restaurant or have a friend come over and bake cookies or whatever you want to do. Go for a massage. You know, that's really nice to do for this moon. And it is Earth, so there is something that's like very grounding, very stable about this energy today. And then, you know, looking at Venus, she's still exalted in Pisces. Okay, this is still a really nice place for Venus to be, and she's direct. She's not retrograde anymore. And she's still, you know, kind of close to Saturn. So there is something about stability on this day, calling in stability, if that's what you're looking to do. There's also Uranus making a sextile. So this is positive. That means Uranus and Venus working well together on this day. It's not exact, but it's close. So element of surprise, always with Uranus. Could bring you some kind of surprise of some sort, some kind of unexpected thing. Maybe it's a friend that calls you who you haven't seen in a while, or, you know, something like that. But then we do have, again, not close, but Mars is a little bit squaring this this new moon, which means, yeah, a little bit of tension, but it is, you know, a little further away. So I'm not too worried about Mars on this day, but some people, yeah, might just feel that underlying tension during this moon. And then I think, oops, yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys, until the very end of the month, the 30th. We just have Venus. We've got Venus back in Aries. So again, we already had Venus in Aries earlier this spring, but that story got interrupted when she went retrograde, and she was retrograde, then she went back into Pisces. But now we are going to have the full journey of Venus in Aries. So this will be April 30th through June 7th. Okay. So we've got a long time of Venus in Aries, which again, this is, you know, I call it the goddess in battle, right? It's like Venus in Aries, she's got to do some fighting. She's got to stand up for herself. Okay, so that's what this energy is good for. It's really good for focusing on our own identity, focusing on our own pursuits, standing up for ourselves, making sure our needs are met. It's like a little bit, it's okay to be a little selfish, okay, during Venus and Aries. So things Venus and Aries is not good for. Not great for compromise, not good for negotiations, not good, yeah, for resolving conflict. That's the only downside. So if, you know, there are things in your personal life that you do need to resolve, you might just have to work a little bit harder with Venus in Aries, because she's not going to make it easy. We'll put it that way. And so too, yeah, on global scale, things could get out of whack again. Maybe we think a peace deal's going through because that Venus Saturn, then Venus goes into Aries and whoops, the deal is off the table again. Nobody wants to compromise. Nobody wants to back down. And that is April. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Yes, Lorraine?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you what that TV show is you mentioned.
Oh, yeah, it's called The White Lotus.
White Lotus. Okay, yeah, I've seen that advertised, but
Yeah,
so
and
it's
this,
a good Pisces show.
yeah, yes, it's very heavy on symbolism.
Symbolism, right?
But this is the third season. So you might like even going back and watching the first and second season.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, each season has different characters,
Uh-huh.
but it's always all set at
Yeah.
a resort.
Okay.
That's the thing that's constant, is it's always at a resort and it's always kind of like rich people problems. But I think you would, as a very Pisces person, I think you would like it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a wild ride. What can I say? I mean, it's just wild for all of us. Mhm.
And that's the thing, I keep remembering is that we're all in this together.
Mhm.
Right? It's like, yeah, it could get, I mean, it's already bad, could get worse.
Are you
but
going to the protest in Bend today?
I'm gonna go to the one in Sisters.
Oh, I'm gonna go here in Redmond. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
We're gonna
Good.
go to
Yeah,
we're going to the one in Bend today.
In Bend. Okay.
yeah, so good. We've
Yeah.
got reps everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do. Just keep
Yeah.
going up and know that, yeah, none of us are alone. We are all on, I would say more than half the country is on the same page in terms
Yeah.
of, whoa, this is going in a really not good direction. We got to stop this.
Finally.
So hang in there, everyone. Always so good to see you.
You
And
too.
until next time,
You'll send the recording?
yes,
Okay, thank you, Tara.
happy to do that.
Okay.
Okay,
All
everyone,
right, have a
take
good
care.
day. All right,
Bye.
bye.